Imagine opening a brand new salon in your village, only to discover a single human tooth tangled in your client's hair. That's exactly what happens to Efua, the proud young stylist in a small Ghanaian community. As she braids beautiful styles under the warm sun, an ancient spirit awakens beneath the earth, determined to punish her, and anyone who dares to braid here. With every flicker of the lantern and whisper of the wind, Efua faces 5 terrifying trials. Shadowy brushes against her skin, blood-red puddles on the floor, mocking voices in the dark, haunting visions of lost loved ones, and the clatter of ghostly chains. In the end, she must make the ultimate sacrifice, her own hair to banish the evil forever. Will her courage and respect be enough to save her village? Or will she lose everything she loves? Join us as we delve into Efua's chilling, suspenseful fight for survival. Hit like button, subscribe to this channel, and comment where you watch this video from. Let the story begin. Thank you. Efua opened her shiny new salon in a small Ghanaian village. She set combs, beads, and pretty ribbons on a clean table. The warm morning sun made the mirrors sparkle. Children played outside, laughing under tall palm trees. Efua smiled and welcomed her first customer, an auntie with soft, curly hair. She gently parted the hair and began to braid, humming a happy tune. The braid grew neat and smooth under her careful fingers. Everyone watched in awe. Efua felt proud and excited. Today was the start of her dream, and she believed kindness and skill would bring joy to her friends and neighbors. One afternoon, Nana Afia, the oldest woman in the village, shuffled into Efua's salon. Her silver hair was wrapped in colorful cloth, and her walking stick tapped soft on the floor. She looked at Efua with wise eyes and whispered, "Child, the spirits watch every braid. They guard old magic here." Efua nodded politely, her fingers still on a braid. She tried to understand but felt a little puzzled. Nana Afia tapped her stick 3 times and said, "Be careful." Then she left, rocking in her slippers. Efua paused, frowning. She did not know about spirits, but she promised to braid with respect. That evening, Efua cleaned her combs by lantern light. Outside, crickets chirped and tree branches swayed. She locked the door and tiptoed home. In her small room, she lay on her mat and tried to sleep, but a soft scratching sound came from the salon window. Efua's heart beat fast. She squeezed her eyes shut and wished for morning light. The scratching stopped, but her mind sparkled with questions. What made that sound? Was it a bird or something else? She hugged her pillow tight and whispered, "Please let me be safe." Slowly, her breathing softened and sleep came gently. The next day, Efua welcomed Abina, whose hair was tangled and thick. Efua parted a section near the crown and gasped. Nestled in the hair was a single human tooth. She dropped her comb and it clattered on the floor. Abina sat very still, eyes wide with fear. Efua backed away, covering her mouth. The salon was silent except for her shaky breath. Abina touched her head and whispered, "What is this?" Efua's legs felt weak. She gathered her courage, picked up the comb, and gently helped Abina into a chair. Her heart pounded, but she promised herself she would protect Abina. That afternoon, Nana Afia returned with grave news. When she heard about the hidden tooth, she gasped and clutched her cloth. She said, "You have disturbed the old spirit buried beneath our earth. It is angry." Efua felt a cold chill run down her spine. She rubbed her arms and asked, "What will it do?" Nana Afia took her hand and said, "It will test you in 5 fearful trials. Only bravery and respect can calm it." Efua's eyes filled with worry, but she nodded. She would face the trials to save her village and the souls beneath their feet. That night, lights in the salon blinked off. Efua held her comb tightly as darkness wrapped around her. She felt something brush her arm, soft and cold. Her breath caught, but she remembered Nana Afia's words. She guided her hands by memory and kept braiding a small wig in the dark. Shadows danced on the walls and tiny whispers filled the air. Efua blinked back tears and whispered, "I am brave." When the lights flickered back on, she finished the braid perfectly. Her hands trembled, but she smiled. One trial was done, and she felt a spark of pride. On the second night, water pooled on the salon floor. It looked red in the lantern glow. Efua had to walk through it to reach her chair. Cold droplets soaked her slippers. Tiny voices giggled around her ankles. She bit her lip to keep from crying. Her braid stood unfinished on the table. Efua took a deep breath, held her head high, and stepped through every splash. Each step hurt, but she kept going. Finally, she sat and finished the braid on a practice head on her shelf. When she stood, her dress was wet, but she felt proud. She whispered, "I will not give up." The third trial came as soft whispers around her salon chairs. They called her name. Efua, Efua. She froze, her comb in hand. The shadows by the windows stretched like long, thin fingers. They mocked her softly. "You cannot save the village." Efua's heart thumped. She pressed her eyes shut and began to hum her grandmother's lullaby. The gentle tune filled the room and the whispers faltered. Slowly, the shadows shrank back into the corners. When Efua opened her eyes, the salon felt calm. She finished arranging beads on a practice braid. Her voice had been her shield. The fourth trial brought strange visions. As Efua practiced on a wig, she saw her little brother Kofi smiling and calling her name. Suddenly, his face disappeared and turned sad. Then she saw her sister Amma, dancing, and then vanish too. Tears welled in Efua's eyes. She trembled and wiped her cheek. "Stay with me," she whispered into the empty air. She looked at the wig in her hands and forced herself to braid. Each twist and turn steadied her heart. When she finished, the visions faded, replaced by warm lantern light. Efua felt stronger, like love had filled her soul. Late that night, a hot wind blew through the salon, rattling combs and beads. Chains appeared on the floor and clanged loudly. A deep voice moaned, "Give me hair, give me power." Efua's hands shook. She remembered all the trials and braced herself. "I braid with respect," she said softly. The chains rattled faster, but her voice grew stronger. She picked up her comb and braided a small knot in the air. The chains clanged, then fell silent. The hot wind cooled. Efua's legs trembled, but she stood firm. One trial left. She whispered, "I will protect our village." In the early morning, a dark figure rose from the old clay pots in the corner. Its form was smoky, and its voice sounded like rattling bones. It hissed, "You have failed. Your people will suffer." Efua's heart pounded so loud she thought it might burst. She gripped her comb like a spear. "I braid with respect and love," she declared, her voice steady. The spirit snarled and lunged. Efua held her ground, remembering her grandmother's lullaby and love for her family. The spirit recoiled for a moment. Efua knew the final test was at hand. She closed her eyes and waited. The spirit's voice echoed, "Sacrifice your hair, and I will leave." Efua gasped, tears filling her eyes. She thought of her friends and family who needed her. She thought of the village under the warm sun. She took a deep breath, whispered, "For my village I give my hair." With gentle hands, she cut her long braid until it fell in soft, black strands to the floor. Warm light glowed around her head. The spirit screamed and dissolved into dust. Silence and peace filled the salon. Efua stood alone, hairless but unbroken. Days later, Efua learned to braid by touch and memory, even though her own hair was gone. Her fingers knew every twist. Neighbors brought fresh fruit and flowers to show thanks. Nana Afia led Efua by the hand through the salon and smiled. "You are our hero," she said. Children gathered around, reaching out to feel the comb in Efua's hand. "I will keep braiding for you," Efua said, her voice soft and warm. Everyone clapped. Though she had no hair of her own, Efua felt the love and pride of her village. Her heart shone brightly. To honor Efua's courage, the villagers painted the salon doors in bright yellow and green. They hung lanterns that glowed like stars. Efua's brother Kofi and sister Amma helped set up a small celebration under the palm trees. They sang songs and danced. Efua sat under a decorated mango tree and braided doll's hair for children to practice. She guided their small hands gently. Laughter filled the air. The spirit had gone and peace had returned. Efua felt joy bubble in her chest. Though bald, she could see happiness in every face around her. Each morning, Efua unlocked her salon and prepared her combs by touch. Villagers lined up for her gentle braids and warm smiles. Nana Efua sat nearby, telling stories of the trials. Children ran in and out, calling her Brave Efua. Though she could not braid her own hair, she created beauty for others. Her fingers wove magic once more, creating patterns that danced in beads and ribbons. She had given her hair to banish evil and found true strength in her heart. The village thrived under her care, and Efua, the bald stylist, was their shining star. Like this story? Subscribe to the channel and also like the video for more videos like this one. Thank you.